Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Namaste.
Namaste. Good evening, everyone.
Till your class is till 8:30.
Yes, yes, yes. You're very happy, huh?
Yes, ma'am. It will be nice.
Nishant, very happy, is it? Till 8:30, 2 hours. You don't feel, I'm feeling hungry. You don't feel hungry?
No, ma'am. We will eat always. You will eat always 8:30.
Oh, you eat at 8:30, is it? Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Then it's okay. Let everyone join. We'll start.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. How many joined? 18 still. Okay.
13.
No, 17 have joined. Just see.
Yes, ma'am. No, 17.
17.
Oh.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, is this class for Navodaya?
Yes. Yes, ma.
Ma'am, only Navodaya or Navodaya and Sainik?
Both. Actually, there's not much change in the grammar. It's the same thing.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, what you will do the portions is signing the novel also same portions, ma'am.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Grammar, English grammar is same for everybody. No? It's not about Navodaya signing.
Namaste, ma'am.
Okay, children, what we're going to do today is we'll be doing a quick revision. Okay. So when I'm doing a quick revision, I don't want anyone talking in center. Everyone should just listen. Okay, only listening. Any doubt what you have, keep a notebook next to you, write it and keep what is the doubt. In the end, I'll give you some time. You can ask clear your doubts. Okay. I don't want anyone, I'm not going to unmute you all. Mute you all, but I don't want anyone talking. If you talk also, I will not answer. I'm telling you. So I'm just giving a quick revision. Please, all of you should listen attentively. And I have done all this in the class before, so nothing is new. I'm going to start from the very beginning, kinds of sentences. So I don't want any disturbance, please. I'm telling you now, requesting you rather, more than telling you, requesting you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay, children, we'll do first, we're going to start from sentences, and one by one, I'll do parts of speech. Okay, so whatever I'm doing, keep listening. So it's very good for you. It's just a revision. Whatever has been done in the class, you're listening once again. I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to share the screen so everybody can see also. No copying. Nobody will copy anything. I'll send this notes to you all. All this, what I'm telling you, showing you, I'll be sending it to you once again. So you don't have to copy anything, children. You have to just listen.
I'm in the button but app, ma'am.
Yeah, in that I'll send. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So nobody copying anything, nobody asking questions, only listening, children. Okay. Oh, this is just a revision. So just listen.
Ma'am, at last, can we ask questions?
Yes, yes, definitely you can ask questions. You can write and keep. Whenever you get a doubt in between, you write it and keep somewhere. I'll give you in 10 minutes in the end. And this class is from 6:30 to, sorry, 6:30 to 8:30. So I want all of you all to listen attentively. As much as possible, I'll cover the revision portion. Okay. So to start with, children, first, sentences. A sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense. It's called a sentence. Now, for example, Mohan persuaded Raman to accompany him to the market. Teacher explained each and every point to the class clearly. Mr. Singh talked with people in an arrogant manner. Arrogant means very rude manner. Okay, India is emerging as a world power with time. Emerging means coming up, rising up. Okay, the next one is the impact. The impact of natural calamity can be minimized with timely warning. Calamity means something like earthquake or something, floods, and all these things are called as natural calamity. Nobody does it. It happens on its own. That's the reason it's called as natural calamity. Okay. So next thing is we'll be going to types of sentences. The sentence given above make complete sense. So what they're trying to tell you is, when you write a sentence like teacher explained each and every point to the class clearly, it means that there is no further doubt on that. You know, there is a teacher who was explaining each and every point to the class. So there's no second doubt on that. So whenever you make a sentence, you need to make it with full clarity. That's what the definition of a sentence is saying. Kinds of sentences. Now, look at the following sentences. I congratulated him on his performance in the annual exam. We need to be careful while walking on the road. What are the advantages and disadvantages of using the modern electronic gadgets? Gadgets means electronic devices, all like mobile phones, laptop, all these things are gadgets. Who are you to interfere in my personal matter? Interfere means poke your nose sort of thing. I have told you several times to shut the door. He requested me to help him in his project so that he could submit it on time. Look at the warning which says not to take photographs. Hooray! India secured second position in the Commonwealth Games. What a great victory Indian team has registered against Australia. May you get a job soon. So here there are different kinds of sentences. We are first going to learn what are the different sentences which are there, and then after that we will learn how to identify them also. Now, you're saying that in the sentence 1 and 2. So here there are about 10 sentences given. So in the sentences 1 and 2, the expresses statement in general way. It's a general thing, like I congratulated him on the performance and we need to be careful. It's a general way of talking. 3 and 4 express questions, like here in 3rd and 4th. What are the advantage and disadvantage? It's a question. Who are you to interfere? That is a question. So 3 and 4 is a question. 5, 6, 7, it's something like an order or a request. For example, fourth one, 5. I have told you several times to shut the door. So again, that is a order sort of thing. Sixth one, he requested me to help me in his project. Again, that is for imperative. The fifth one is imperative command. The sixth one is imperative request. And here, look at the warning which says, do not take photographs. Again, that is an imperative statement. Now, then again, sentences 8, 9, express happiness. Hooray! India secured second position. So that shows happiness. So it's supposed to be an exclamation sentence. I told you before also, any sudden happiness or sadness expressed in words like hooray, alas. So all these things, and with the exclamation mark, shows it's an exclamation sentence. 10th one, may you get a job soon. It is an optative sentence where I told you imperative, in imperative sentences, when you say may God bless you, may the Lord help you and all that. So that those statements are called as optative statements. Now, next one, when we go down, on the basis of these expressions, a sentence can be divided into different kinds. Assertive sentence, when you're sure of something, it's called an assertive sentence. Interrogative sentence, when you ask questions. Imperative sentence, we have three things in that. One is command, one is request, one is prayer. Means you use the words like, oh Lord, oh God. Exclamatory sentence, when you show sudden happiness or sadness. Optative sentence, when you use like you bless someone or you curse someone. Those are optative sentences. Now we are going to see in detail statement, assertive sentence, or it's also called as declarative sentence. A sentence that has or states, says or states something is called an assertive or declarative sentence. When some statement is made, a positive statement, that is called as an assertive or declarative sentence. The sentence which simply states something is called as a statement or an assertive statement. What are the examples of an assertive statement? Elephant is considered as the largest land animal. Hard work always pays. I have been threatened by him again and again. People are always curious to know about the unknown facts. So here, if there is only assertion that something which has really happened has been stated, that's why it's called as assertive statement. There are two types of statements again, affirmative and negative. Affirmative sentence, assertive, declarative, positive, all statements are same. Negative statement is when the answer is no, or if you're not sure of something. For example, again, they mentioned what is an affirmative statement. A sentence which affirms, that means tells you surely, something is called as affirmative sentence. The president of USA is going to visit India. He interviewed and attacked the enemy camp. Interviewed means he, without notice, he entered the enemy camp and attacked the enemy camp. So these are the affirmative sentences. Negative sentence, a sentence which denies, which says no. Deny means to say no. Something is called as a negative sentence. For example, the president of USA is not going to visit India. He did not intrude and attack the enemy camp. So here you see that both the sentences, they have been saying no. So it becomes a negative sentence. So question, interrogative sentence. So here a sentence that asks a question is called as a question or an interrogative sentence. For example, who has called us for the meeting? Have you assigned the task to the boss? So here you see that all the four statements are in question mark, or it's a question. Where could I find the right person who can accomplish the task successfully? Accomplish means to achieve the task successfully. Why are you worried about it? So all the four things are a question. So that's why it is called as an interrogative sentence. So the sentences which begin with, a question begins with either helping verb, is, am, are, was, were, has, have, had, do, does, did, can, will, shall, may, or question words like what, where, how, when, whom, which, why, etc. All these are called as interrogative sentences, but it should always have a question mark at the end. Imperative sentence, a sentence that expresses a command, request, advice is called as imperative sentence. Bring me a glass of water. It is a politely somebody is asking. Please make me a cup of coffee. Again here, it's a request. You should work hard. Okay. Don't overstress yourself. The sentence given above expresses an order, request, and advice and a probation. These are called as command. Commands. A command has an hidden subject, which remains as a second person. Come here means you come here. Usually in imperative sentences, they will not use you come here. Please go. I mean, they won't take anyone's name, or they won't say you shut the door or any such thing. It's understood. When you say come here, the person in front of the person who is talking, he's addressing the person and he's asking the person to come here. So you, I, we will always, subject will be missing in an imperative sentence. Exclamation sentence. A sentence that expresses a strong feeling is called as an exclamatory sentence. For example, it might be happiness or sadness. Hooray shows happiness. I have stood first in the class. Alas shows sadness. The poor is getting poorer day by day. What a pleasant surprise. So here again, it is a surprise is again excitement. Bravo, again that is with a something motivation sort. He has achieved the feat. Feat means task, T-A-S-K, task that no one has ever achieved. Okay, the sentences given above expresses happiness, sorrow, surprise, admiration. These sudden internal feeling of it's not heart, it is happiness, it should be. These are called as exclamation. A mark of exclamation put after exclamatory mark. So in an interrogative sentence, you have a question mark. In an affirmative sentence, you have a full stop. Again, in imperative sentence, you'll have full stop. In an exclamation sentence, you'll have an exclamatory mark. Optative sentences, the sentence which expresses wish, desire, prayer is called as optative sentence. May God bless the poor. May this country be prosperous. May the baby live long. May God give wealth to him. Wish you a very happy new year. So such sentences are called as optative sentences. Okay, now this thing, children, there's a practice exercise. It's already done here. So nothing to be this thing. I was extremely worried about, yeah, I think there's one on top. Yeah, when are you planning to visit your parents? The question mark is there. So it's an interrogative sentence. I was extremely worried about my test paper. Assertive sentence. How beautiful is the picture? Exclamatory sentence. He was climbing on the roof. So it's an affirmative sentence. So here, again, we have an exercise which is already done. Just for our understanding, they have given it. We need to understand how it works. London was a poor center for the entire world for many centuries. The answer is A, it's a statement. Alas, I have failed in my exam. It is obviously because of the exclamation. It has to be an exclamatory sentence. Okay, now in a sentence, there are two types of sentences. I'm sorry. Types of sentences as per structure. All the sentences given above are divided into the following types: simple, compound, and complex. All must have heard of this before: simple, compound, and complex. Simple sentences contain no conjunction. That is, in a simple sentence, you won't find any conjunction like and, but, etc. It'll be a simple thing like Rahul ate his food quickly. I visited the zoo with my family. Have you done your work? So you will find that there is no and over there. There is no but over there, or there is no or over there. It's just a simple sentence, short and simple sentence. Now, compound sentences are sentences that contain two statements that are connected by a conjunction: and, but, or. So in a compound sentence, we have and, but, or in the sentences. I wanted to come, but it was late. The company had an excellent year, so they gave everyone a bonus. I went shopping and my wife went to her class. So here in the first sentence, you'll find but. In the second sentence, of course, there is nothing, but there's a comma, then there is a so. And in the third sentence, you'll find and. And there's one more type of sentence called a complex sentence. Complex sentence contains a dependent clause and at least one independent clause. The two clauses are connected by a subordinator. Which are the subordinators? Which, who, although, despite, if, since, etc. So these are called as the subordinators. So the sentence is, my daughter who was late for class arrived shortly after the bell rang. That's the man who bought our house. Although it was difficult, the class passed the test with excellent marks. Now here, children, just I want you all to quietly write whatever is the queries you have. I will be answering later. Nobody is asking me anything. Quietly write this, children. Just quietly write types of sentences as per structure. I'll give you last, in the end, I'll give you some time. Definitely, I'll answer all your this inquiries. Amog and Dhruva, I told you I will answer in the end. Put your hands down. Ghan, you don't want to write?
And can we write only one example?
No problem. You can write another. Only 3 are there. Na? In the complex sentence, yeah, you can, I think you can write all three. It's okay. You'll exactly get to know how many are there, how it is done.
Ma'am, can you show the example of simple sentences?
Not now, later I'll show. I have to finish this first. I cannot go back down now, ma. Just write what is in front of you and then we'll do it. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Write fast, ma. Lot of time was given. Write fast. In the compound sentence, children just underline but. Okay. And the third sentence and. Then that shows you that's a compound sentence. So also you can underline. That also can be this thing. Conjunction. Please don't write summary.
Ma'am, can you go little bit down, ma'am?
It's little up.
Sorry, ma'am, up.
Go little up, ma'am. I was writing that options, conjunctions.
Conjunctions. Fast. How? I mean, that
Okay,
was
ma'am,
shown
examples.
long back.
No, ma'am, this one, but and that one. Done.
Okay, children, I'll show this again. You can take a screenshot. Don't worry. I'll show it to you again after some time in the end. And again, as told before, please, there are some exercises here, which we'll do later. Nothing to worry. But please, for heaven's sake, I'm telling you, don't talk. You are very good keeping quiet. Maintain that, please. Okay, the next one we'll talk about. We'll go to articles. I've also finished articles with you all. A quick this thing a review I'll be doing, or a revision rather I'll be doing. A and the or the, whatever. Some people say A, some people say a. So it depends on your pronunciation. There's nothing wrong. A and the are called as articles. Articles are adjectives. So A and are called indefinite articles. Okay. Articles, the is called as in definite articles. Articles are used with a noun. This particular, there's a spelling mistake, children. It's not adjective. It is articles. A and an are called indefinite article. So it is not adjective. It is an article. A and an are called indefinite article. Article the is called as a definite article. Articles are used with noun. A and an. A and an means one. A means for consonants, you usually use A. It means one, and also is used in front of a vowel A, E, I, O, U, and it also means one. are placed before the counted nouns in singular form. Okay, singular number. A book, a pen, a apple, an umbrella. So you notice B is a consonant, P is a consonant. So A is being used, but A is an A is an vowel, U is an vowel. So for in that case, we have used and. Okay. Fine. So second one, we use A before words beginning with a consonant sound. A girl, a map, a rupee, a note, rupee note, a uniform. The girl, O in one is pronounced as a letter. Sorry, what's that? Okay, here a rupee, no, a O is actually a vowel. I said A, E, I, O, U is a vowel. So O is a vowel, but then when we pronounce O, we are not pronouncing O over there. We are saying one. So the pronunciation is different. So we are using A instead of an. W and the letter U in the uniform is pronounced as U. So it's a consonant sound. Umbrella, we say an umbrella, but uniform we are saying as a uniform because W and U are pronounced as U. So that this thing is different. Y is more prominent there. So we use an before words beginning with vowel sound. An orange, an apple, an egg, an honest person, and R. So here again, H and H both are consonants, but still because O and O in the honest and O in the R are more prominent. That's why we use and. We use the when we mean a particular person or a thing. Take the chair lying near the window. The man you wanted to meet is waiting at the door. When we speak of a person or a thing for the first time, we use a and an. But we speak of it again, we use the. A stranger came to the house. The stranger wanted to meet my father. Now, what do you mean by a stranger? A person who you don't know. That's the reason you're using the word a. But when you're again referring to the same stranger, you can use the because you already mentioned the stranger in your previous sentence. He showed me a box. So again, we don't know which box. Some box he showed me. That's why I'm saying he showed me a box. But then in the second sentence, when I'm referring to the same box, I'll be using the because we are talking about the box which we had already spoken about. So we use with the names of rivers. So where all do we use the? With the name of rivers, sea, ocean, mountain, and well-known buildings. The Kaveri, the Black Sea, the Indian Ocean, the Himalaya, the Gateway. We use the with names of holy books like newspaper, holy books, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and all that, and Bible, Quran, newspaper, train, ship, aeroplanes, country. Okay, examples are given. Gita, Quran, Indian Express is a paper. Rajdhani Express is again a train. Akbar and all this, USA. We also use with the superlatives and in such phrases as the first, the last. When we're talking about the first month, so the last month, so that time we use the word the and the only. For example, all these things, when we use superlatives, we use the. We do not use the with proper nouns. Remember, children, when we do nouns, we'll remember that the proper nouns are names of person, place, animal, or thing. In front of proper nouns, we never use the. We never say the Vivekananda. It will be Vivekananda with uncountable nouns, the name, material, wood, water, abstract nouns, beauty, quality. Just remember, in front of proper nouns, we never use the. You all don't have determiners, I think. Anyway, I just explained to you what is a determiner. Determiners are used to modify noun. That is, it is used for referring something specific or a particular. Determinants are followed by nouns. Now, when you use this, that, those, these are called as determiners. This is my phone. This is her phone. So these are the determiners in this particular chapter, what they mentioned. So this is about articles. The next thing we'll be going about is 1 minute. I'll take up the nouns. After articles, we'll do nouns. Okay, so in noun, so we have finished sentences, children, kinds of sentences. Then we have finished articles. Now we come to noun. This is only a revision, children. It is not for anything. Just a recap of what we have done. It's a revision. Okay, this lesson will help you to understand the noun as part of the speech and its grammatical use. So real life examples like, okay, forget all that. We'll go to the kinds of noun directly. What is a noun? A noun is a name of a person, place, animal, or thing. So these are the any person, place, animal, or thing. Names of those thing, people, or a person, or whatever is called as a noun. Kinds of noun. There are 5 different kinds of noun. We have proper noun, common noun, collective noun, material noun, abstract noun. So what is proper noun? Proper nouns are usually the name of a particular person, place, and is always written with a capital letter. Children, remember, proper nouns are always written with capital letter, and THE, the, is never used in front of a proper noun. For example, Shah Jahan constructed some of the remarkable monuments in India. Indira Gandhi, Gandhi spelling is wrong, please correct it. The worst woman Prime Minister of India was a dynamic lady. Common noun, it is a name which is common to any and every person or a thing of the same kind. For small towns are growing today at a faster rate. So usually common nouns, examples will be any boy, any girl, doctor, teacher, anybody for that matter, cousin. So these are all common nouns. Collective nouns, it denotes a number of person or a thing grouped together as one complete whole. For example, it is very interesting to study the view of the constellations in the clear sky. So collective noun, constellation is the word which tells there are a lot of stars and other things in the sky. So that's the reason it's a collective noun. What are the other examples of collective noun? Lot of sheep, SHEEP. Lot of sheep is a herd. Lot of hens, we say poultry. Lot of flowers, we say bouquet. Lot of keys, we say bunch of keys. So these are the examples of collective nouns. Material noun, it denotes the matter or a substance of a thing. Things are made. For example, iron steel industry is a key industry in the country. Any material that has been named with iron, steel, wood, whatever. So those will also be called as material noun. There has been a significant increase in the price of gold. So that also comes under material noun. In material noun, there are again another 2 kinds which has not been mentioned here. Countable, uncountable. So countable nouns will be like 4 tables, 5 chairs, 2 benches. All these things will come under countable noun. Uncountable noun would be the water in the river, milk, any liquid, milk, or probably the stars in the sky, where you can't count. Certain things you can't count. So those they'll come under uncountable nouns. Material nouns. Under material noun, it will be called as uncountable nouns. Abstract noun, it is a name of some quality, state, action considered to be apart from the living to which it belongs. For example, abstract nouns, best examples are bravery, beautiful, hardworking, patience. All these things are the examples of abstract noun. Now, what is this abstract noun? Abstract itself means which you can't see. So these are the qualities you can't see just on its own.
Ma'am,
You need to, one second, you need to see these qualities in a person. Abstract noun qualities like bravery, honesty, courage, and all that, you need to see in a person. You cannot see it without a person. So that's why it's called as abstract noun, where you cannot see. For example, air, it's an abstract noun. You know it is there, but you cannot see it. Pictures and examples, proper noun, Vedas. Rabindranath Tagore was the first Nobel laureate in India. The holy Vedas are the oldest text of the Hindu mythology. So these are any person's name, place, animal, or thing. Names of them are called as proper noun. The next one, common noun. An umbrella saves us from the scorching heat of the sun and heavy rains. Now here, umbrella is called as a common noun because there are different types of umbrella. There are umbrellas which are foldable. There are umbrellas which are short, which are tall, and colorful umbrellas. So there are different types of umbrellas. So the common thing is umbrella, which protects you from heat and sun or rain. So that's a common noun. So the other examples of common noun would be teacher. There are different teachers. Now in your tuition itself, you have many teachers, but each and every teacher has got a different name. So different names will become proper noun, but all teachers, all the people who are teaching are teachers. So that becomes a common noun. Okay. Collective noun. Collective noun is one name given for many. Beehive is reared in a large scale production of honey. Now here the other example of collective noun would be a group of soldiers together, army, many people. In the crowd is in the road is a crowd, and things like that. Like many things of the same kind. Many things of the same kind is given one single name, that is collective noun. Misconcept and concept. Misconcept, collective nouns are plural. There are many people think that the moment you say collective noun, it should, and there are many of the same kind, we call it plural. No, it is not. When a collective noun provides the sense of togetherness, it should be treated as a singular noun. But when it provides the same sense of separation, it should be treated as a plural. The committee has submitted its report. The jury were divided in their opinion. So forget this is a difficult example. We can say that, in other words, they're saying that when you talk about bees, all the bees together are called as a swarm of bees, which we take it as singular. The swarm of bees are attacking us. So it is taken as singular. But then when we talk of single bees, we'll treat as plural. There are many bees in this tree. So it is taken as plural. Then again, we have material noun, what I was talking about. Petrol is very precious as it speeds up our mobility from one place to another. So that is a material noun. Abstract noun example is laughter is the best medicine in a stressful situation. Words showing collection of collective noun. Like for example, we can take examples which we know. Forget brace and all that. Caravan, merchants and camels, clump of trees, you say many trees, constellation of stars, clutch of eggs, consignment of goods, then we say gallery of pictures, then League of Nations.
What is the meaning of
query of arrows. Then we say parades of the soldiers are parading, that's what we say. And when you have many rooms together, we call it as SUITE, is pronounced as sweet. Okay, it's not any other pronunciation, it's pronounced as sweet. Then we have, these are the things we normally use. Formation. Children, I told you not to interfere. I'll tell you, ask you. Whatever is there, we'll do in the end. So, formation of nouns from adjectives. So these are the different things. It's just for your reference. Nothing to learn there. These are the different things that you should remember. Okay. So what I'll be doing is I'll be sending all these words, all these notes to you. You can go in detail. Any doubt is there, you can ask me later. So there is one more thing called one word substitution. Now, what is this one word substitution? A political representative of the highest order from a country to another. When we send one particular political person from India to America, he becomes an American ambassador. If you send a person from here to Bangladesh, he becomes a Bangladesh ambassador. That means in America and Bangladesh, this particular person is called as an ambassador of India, and he gets the highest position there. He is there to help the Indians. Now, for example, the ambassador, the person who goes as an ambassador from India to America and is called the ambassador of America, is there to help the Indians in America with any problems or anything. That's the reason one particular ambassador is sent to different countries in the world. A person who cannot pay off the debts. Debts means loans, LOANS. He's person who cannot, he's taken loan, but he cannot pay it back. Such a person is called as a bankrupt or insolvent. A person who has unusual habits. That is some stupid habits some persons will have. So such persons are called encentric. Encentric means a person who is mad. A person who respects all religion, secular. A person who respects all religion is a secular. A person inexperienced in the field. A person doesn't know anything much. He just shows off. That person is called as a novice. A person who devotes his life to the welfare of others. He is always trying to help others, do good to others. Such a person is called as a altruist. A person who looks to the bright side of life. That means any depression, any sadness, anything is there, he doesn't care for it, but he always feels tomorrow will be good. After some time, I'll be in good position. Such a person who thinks like that is called as an optimist. A person who looks to the dark side of life. Means whatever good you do to the person, whatever you buy, whatever nice things you tell the person, he is always crying and he always finds doubts in doubts people. Such a person is called pessimist. So optimist and pessimist are opposites. Two persons living in the same age. That means now we are living, we have like the chief minister, sorry, Prime Minister Modi is there, we are also living. So we are contemporary. That means we are staying in the same age, the same generation. We are living in the same generation. Not generation, rather in the same time. An assembly of listeners, audience. When somebody is talking on the stage, we have a lot of people sitting and listening. Those listening people are called as audience. An assembly of worshippers are called as congregations. That is people who are praying together. Those people are called as congregations. One who walks on foot. You know, many people, they say, when you're going on the road, walk on the footpath. So those people who walk on the footpath, or we have to walk on the footpath. When you walk on the road, we can't walk on the road. We have to walk on the footpath. Such people are called as pedestrian. One who knows everything that he feels, or not only he feels, he really knows everything. That person is called as a omniscient. To do something of one's free will. Somebody wants to do something openly, like, he wants to go help some poor people, he wants to give food, that is without any pressure, nobody is telling him to do, he's doing out of his free will. Such a person is called as a voluntary. So here we learned about one word substitution. I've given you many of them, so this is just a revision. Gender formation, there are 4 types of gender: masculine, feminine, common, neuter. Now, what is masculine? Male, animal, or human. So any male animal or a human being, that is a boy, father, son, or uncle, all these people are called as masculine. For example, man, deer, and all that. The feminine is a female, that is a female animal or a human. For example, mother, sister, aunt, grandmother. So all these are feminine. Common, when we are not sure if the person or animal is a male or a female. Example, parent. Now when we say in the school, they say bring your parent. They might be telling either bring your father or bring your mother. They are not specifying you have to bring your mother or you have to bring your father. In such cases, you say parent means either father or mother. Any adult, for example, they are adults. If there's a statement saying let them do what they want, they are adults. Now here when they say adults, you don't know whether they are male or a female. So in such cases, you say common. Child, like you say the child is crying, you don't mention whether it's a boy or a girl. At that time you use the word common. Neuter, that means for non-living things. For example, book, table, chair, trees, road, all these things don't have any gender. So they are called as neuter gender. Plural formation. There are various rules to form plural formation, singular and plural. You must have heard of singular and plural, children. You heard of it? Singular and plural?
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So we have done that also. We have done singular and plural. So singular and plural is nothing but when there are certain rules to add, when to add s, when to add es, when to add y, remove y and add i, es, when to add up, FE or F or FE. Probably remove F and FE and add up V. So there are certain rules. So we'll just brush up the rules. This also I've done with you in detail. It's just a revision. So add S to singular nouns. Now, for example, any noun is there, like any consonant is there. We add up girl, girls, boy, boys. So these are the, when you just add up a S to the consonant or to the single person, it is just a simple singular to plural. But then here no rule applies there. But here from the second one, the rules apply is you add up ES to singular form, which ends with CH, SH, and X. The words which end with CH, SH, and X, they are there, we add up ES. So for example, branch, we say branches, brush, brushes, tax, taxes. So have you noticed? I said CH, SH, and X. Branch has CH, brush has SH, and tax has X. So what do we do when we encounter with these three things, ending words? We simply add up ES. So branches, brushes, and taxes. Then the next rule is when you encounter with a Y and there is a consonant before a Y, that is, there is no other vowel or anything, there is a consonant before a Y, then what do? We remove the Y and we add up I. So IES, baby, babies, lady, ladies. So this is how your B is a consonant and D also is a consonant. So what do we do in such cases where there is a consonant? We remove Y and we add up IES. So it becomes plural. We add up ES to the words ending with O. For example, mango, mangoes. So here the words like potato, potatoes. But there is a rule that if it is photo, we don't add up ES, but we add up only S. Cargo, we add up only S. So there is a rule that there are exceptions, not a rule exactly. Certain things in English grammar, there are exceptions. So these exceptions say that when it is photo and cargo, so that time you need to just add up S. You don't have to add up ES. You have to remember these things, that's all, nothing else. And then the words ending with F or FE will change into V and then add up ES. For example, thief, THIEF. So you remove F and you add up VES. NKNIFE, knife. We remove FE and we add up VES. So here you saw the change, how it changes. And then next one is in few words, we add EN. For example, child, children, ox, oxen. Few words alike, like in their singular and plural form. Deer, no, we never say deers. We never, for deer, how many ever deer are there in number? We never add a S to deer. We never add a S to sheep. We never add a S to salmon. Aircraft, spacecraft, series, species. It is taken as it is. Okay, either in singular, deer, sheep, salmon, aircraft, spacecraft are taken as singulars only always. And series and species always taken as plural. So there is no singular plural there. You have to study as it is. Words with numbers before them will be said to be in singular form, but here no number written before them, they may be said in plural form. For example, 2 pair of socks. So here, though it is 2, what we said, if it is singular, the rule is if it is singular, it is 1. If it is plural, it is 2. That is the rule. But here, though we are using 2 pair of socks, we are not saying pairs, PAIRS, we are not saying, we are just saying 2 pair of socks, 10,000. We don't say thousands because it's more than 1. We just say 1,000. If there is no number, pairs, 1,000, dozens, hundreds. Suppose there are no numbers, pair of socks, then you can say pairs of socks, you can say. If 10 is not written over there, then you can say thousands of rupees, you can say. But if a number is written, you will not make it plural. Collective noun is said to be singular form only. For example, herd, army, bouquet. These are always collective nouns, will be always singular. It will never be plural. There are few objects which are said to be plural, even they are singular. Now, for example, scissors. Children, you must have gone through this. Scissors. Though we are using only one scissor, but still we say scissors. Tongs. Tongs are usually used to hold something. It's a steel this thing to hold something. Jeans. Though you're wearing only one jean pant, you'll say jeans. Trousers. One pant also is called trousers. Spectacles. Though you're wearing only one glasses, you will say spectacles. There are few objects which are said in plural, even they are singular. Honesty and kindness. Okay. Again, honesty is taken as a plural and kindness also. Though it sounds plural, but again, it has no changes in words. For compound words, we add S to the main word. Mother-in-law changes to mothers-in-law. Commander-in-chief changes to commanders-in-chief. Now, children, just notice here, we can say when there are two mother-in-laws, we can say mother-in-laws, we can say LAWS, but we change it to MOTHERS hyphen IN hyphen LAW. So mothers-in-law, fathers-in-law, sisters-in-law, brothers-in-law. If it is plural, if it is singular, it will be mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law. If it is plural, it will be mothers-in-law, fathers-in-law, sisters-in-law. Commander-in-chief changes to commanders-in-chief. If it is one commander, we'll say commander-in-chief. If there are more than one commander, we'll say commanders-in-chief. Okay, I think it's little fast, but just listen, it's just a revision. It's nothing other than a revision. So I'm just going faster. I'll be sending these notes to you all. So you can always go through once again, come back to me if any doubts are there. Here. Okay, I just want you to write down these, children. You will take long time, I know that, but this will help you a lot. Please, can you just take down this? The various rules. Okay, rules you don't take down, but just take down this. This much for this, what you're seeing on the screen, just write it down. It will help you a lot to understand. Please write this down. And any doubts or anything, again, I told you, we have 2 hours class. In the last half an hour, I'll be talking to you and clearing all the doubts. Just take this down, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Ma'am, when is the doubt session at last?
Half an hour last, in the end.
Okay, ma'am. Means you'll take at 8 o'clock doubt, ma'am.
Yeah. Now it is 2 hours, no? 1 hour is over. Another half an hour I teach, and the other half an hour I'll clear all your doubts. You write it and keep it.
Still 8 o'clock, all the questions will be finished, ma'am, because still verbs, prepositions, pronouns are there still there, ma'am.
We have to do, ma. We'll be doing. Now we're doing, no? We already covered 4 chapters, I think. We'll cover it.
Okay, ma'am.
And only 3 we covered now.
Children, I told you no talking. Just write, ma, please.
Ma'am, what should we keep the heading, ma'am?
Which one? No, just write it in your English.
For this which?
No headings and all. Just write it in English. I'm sending all these notes to you. Don't worry. All this, because I'm making you write so that you don't forget. That's the reason I'm making you write.
Excuse me, ma'am, we want to write examples also.
You should not say we want to write. You said should we write. That is the correct way of asking. Should we write the examples also? Yes, you have to write the examples.
Okay.
Excuse ma'am, we can write only 2 examples.
Please write everything. What is there? It's not much.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Dhruva, please write.
Ma'am, I'm writing, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, can you go little bit down? I cannot see, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Done, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Mine also done. Yes, ma'am. Done.
Over.
No, ma'am, at last point.
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, me also last point.
Me
Done,
also.
ma'am.
Ma'am, still I am in last point.
Yes, ma'am, me last point.
I have finished.
Ma'am, this class will end at 8:30, no, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Done, ma'am.
1 minute, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Minute, ma'am.
No, ma'am. I am
1
in.
minute.
Okay, children, stop talking. Children, just remain quiet like how we were before. Let me finish another topic, please. Please keep quiet, okay? Let me just finish. So we finished articles, sentences, reported speech. That we didn't finish. Tenses, verb, idioms and phrases.
Finish, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So we'll go to nouns now, okay? We'll finish
Ma'am,
now.
1 minute, ma'am. Ma'am, last point I am writing example.
No, I'm going to send this notes to you, so don't worry about that. I'm telling you. Don't worry. I'm going to send this. I just made you write because the only reason I made you write is that particular thing you have to remember. That's the reason I made you write, not for anything else.
Ma'am.
Done, ma'am. Wait, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. We want to write this word.
Which one? No, ma. Nothing to write now. Just listen. Okay, just listen. Can you see the screen, children? Verb.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So we finished noun now. We're coming to verb. In verb, there will be like, yes. Verbs are nothing but action words. Okay, anything, standing, sitting, standing, jumping, running, all these things are called as action words. Now, verbs are doing words or action word. A verb can express a physical action. For example, to swim, to write, to climb. A mental action, to think, to guess, to consider. A state of being, to be, to exist, to appear. That means something if you're there somewhere. So that is the this thing, verb, which shows that you exist, you appear. The verbs which express a state of being are the ones which take a little practice to spot, but actually they are most common. The most common verb is the verb to be. So usually you would have seen in many sentences, be, to be, be. These are the things which is used. So we'll try to clarify what it is all about. That is the one which goes like, for example, now they've given a particular table here, children. That is, verb in the past tense will be I was, verb in the present tense would be I am, verb in the future tense will be I will be. So you can use I or with the three tenses of verb, or you can say in three states: in the past tense, in the present tense, in the future tense. You, because you is always considered, though sometimes when we refer to one particular boy or one single boy standing in front of you, a person, but we still say you, and it's considered to be plural. it's always considered to be, you is considered to be plural. So we say you were, you are, you will be. So you is always considered to be plural. He, she, it was considered to be singular, is and will be. We is again plural. We were, we are, we will be. You were, you are, you will be. They were, they are, they will be. So this is how the first person, usually in verbs we say, or tenses we say, we talk about first person, second person, third person. Now I is first person, you is second person, he, she, it also is second person. Again, we, including me, it might be first person sometimes, but in plural form. You again here is a second person in plural form. They is third person in plural form. Children can just make this table, ma. Please write down this table. Only the table, nothing else. Put the heading as verb and write subject, verb in past, verb in present, verb in future. Just make note of this table. That's all. Nothing else other than that. Just write down the table. You'll get to know how to use a sentence. This helps in sentence construction also. That is the reason I'm making you write.
It's not.
Ma'am, only that table, na, ma'am.
If okay, you want to make a table, you make. Otherwise, just write little far, no? Instead of drawing lines, it's a small thing. You can also draw a line. Just draw a line in between.
Ma'am, your screen is not visible properly for me.
Check your system, no? All others are writing. Just check your system, please.
Ma'am, finish.
Children, we are not having.
I'm finished.
Children, I've told you many times, we are not having any running race here. So if you're finished, just keep quiet. We have to wait for others. So please stop saying finish, finish.
Finish, ma'am. Ma'am, they have sent in WhatsApp group that 12 to 1 your special class tomorrow.
Which one?
12 to 1 is special class tomorrow.
Yeah,
Sunday.
yes,
They have
yes,
sent.
yes. 1 hour it's there.
Ma'am,
do we have classes
ma'am,
tomorrow?
What?
Do we have classes tomorrow?
That's what
yeah,
Nishant is saying.
vacation we have.
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
we have classes tomorrow?
Nishant is telling that you heard it, right? I have not seen it.
Ma'am, for 10:30 to 11:30 we have current affairs. Ma'am, will you be taking it, ma'am?
Yes, I'll be taking. Okay,
ma'am.
children, 1 second. Now let's not go back to any other topic. Now here, lots of verb expresses physical action. Here are some sentences with verbs highlighted. Okay, now these are the verbs that express physical action. What are physical action? Action where you run, swim, dance, jog, anything you do like an exercise, or you put your effort to run, or physically you do it. That's a physical action. She sells leather bags. In this example, the word sells is a verb. It expresses a physical activity to sell. The doctor wrote the prescription. So in this example, the word wrote is a verb. It expresses physical activity. Alison bought a ticket. The word bought is a verb. Bought means to buy. It expresses a physical activity to buy. So here we see that sell, wrote, and bought is a verb. Now it's a physical one. Verbs express mental activity. Where do you call it a mental activity? As discussed in the beginning, verbs not only express physical actions like once above, they can express mental actions too. She considers the job done. The word considers is a verb. Okay, it expresses a mental ability. That means something to think. Mental ability means something to think. So that's called as a verb, considers. Peter guessed the right number. The word guessed is a verb. It expresses the mental activity to guess. I thought the same thing. The word thought is a verb. It expresses a mental activity to think. So whenever you're thinking or working or calculating in your brain, so that is called as a mental activity. Then verbs express a state of being. That means a state of being means you are existing, you are there. A small but extremely important group of verbs do not express any activity at all. The most important verb in this group, arguably of all, is a verb to be. As already mentioned, this is seen in forms like are, were, was, will, be. So when we children mute.
Vedav.
Mute.
Vedav.
Okay, so the activity, so when we use words like are, were, was, will, be, so those are called as state of being. That means the person is there, it shows. Edwina is the largest elephant in this area. The word is a verb. Sometimes no, the sentences don't contain verb, any action, but we use words like is, was, were, and all. So that itself is taken as a verb. When there is no other verb, there's no other verb in the sentence, we take this as a verb. We consider this as a verb. So it was a joke. So here the word is the word was is a verb from to be. I am. So here there's nothing to no verb, nothing. But then we consider am as a verb. So certain sentences don't have verbs in their sentence formation. So we take is, was, will, be, am as we consider that as a verb, because every sentence should have a verb. Subject plus verb plus object makes a sentence. That's the reason we take, when there is no verb, we consider is, was, were, and all as a verb. So next is modal verbs. Okay, now means building up upon the knowledge you already have. While most of you are able to explain what most verbs do, such as convey action, movement, behavior. Modal verbs might seem more mysterious. Modal verbs which convey an attitude or a mood. Now, what do modal verbs do? They show an attitude or a mood. Now, you know what is an attitude. Now, suppose there are some people in your friend circle and they say, okay, fine, why don't you come to my house? Why don't you come? Why don't you have food? And there might be one guy who is just trying to throw attitude saying that, no, I'm very busy. I can't come. I don't mingle with people. So there are such people. So when people show their different moods like this, they are called as attitude. Okay, they include can, could, will, would, might, may, must, shall, should, ought. So what does modal verbs have? Modal verbs have can, could, will, would, may, might, must, shall, should, ought. Ought is ought. That is a duty. You ought to look after your parents. It's a duty. Ought means duty. Modal verbs act differently than other verbs in English. They do not take a letter S. It doesn't always have a S in their verbs. Okay. At their ends, in the third person singular in the present tense, the word not is placed before them to form a negative. And they are not used in the past or future tense. So modal verbs never have S with them. And they always have a not. Not, not is placed before a modal verb to show that it is always negative. And modal verbs are never written in past or future tense. So here, write a short paragraph could be what I should be doing right now. It's just a sentence. Don't worry about that. A sentence in your paragraph that uses modals might be, I should be doing my homework right now, but I might go to party instead. So here in this sentence, the words like I should is a modal verb. Then we have I might again is a modal verb. So words like I already told you. What are the words? Could, should, what are the other ones? Oh my God, where is that? Which show attitude and all that. So all these things are modal verbs. Okay, might, ought, all these things are called as modal verbs. Now read these sentences. The soldier fight with the sword. The soldiers fight bravely. Now in the sentence, the action denoted by the verb fight passes from the doer to the subject soldier. Okay, don't go deep into this, children. It's okay. We don't have to do so much. We don't have auxiliaries, so don't worry about that. Only thing you need to understand is the modal verb because that is there in your portion. So can, could, may, might. So these are called as modal. Usually express ability. When you say, I can do it, I could do it in future tense, I may do it, I might do it. So you are showing your willingness that I can do the work. So that is, all these words show the willingness to do a job. Shall, should, will, would is used in first person, will in the second person, third persons to express the future. I shall be 19 next birthday. Tomorrow will be a holiday. So shall is used as a second person. So just don't get in deep into this, but please understand as can, could, may, might shows the ability to do a work. Shall, should is usually, will, would is used in future tense to express something which is going to happen in future. For example, tomorrow I'll be 19 years or tomorrow is my 19th birthday. Tomorrow will be a holiday. So these are the 4 words that is used in the future tense to show something that is going to happen. Must. Now must is something which is necessary. It expresses necessity. You must come tomorrow. You must do your homework. You must have food before 8 o'clock. So this shows a sort of necessity. You have to do it, a determination to do it. Formation of verb from noun. When I send you the notes, you can just read it, but don't by heart anything. Then we have sound identification. We didn't do this actually for y'all. I'll just read now. The ass means donkey. Asses bray, cows bleat, bulls bellow, frogs croak, apes gibber, birds twitter, ducks quack, elephants trumpet, mice squeak, tigers growl, wolves howl, lions roar, peacock screams, hyena laughs, horses neigh. So sometimes in fill in the blanks, they might expect you to know certain things. To fill in, complete the blank or something, you should know which animal gives out what sort of a noise and what is that noise called in words. Object. So again, we say there are certain objects that make noise. For example, glass tinkles. When you lift a glass, you get a sort of noise that is tinkles. Plates rattle, clouds thunder, watches tick, shoes creak, sails flutter. That is the sail on the ship. When you see a ship going in the sea, you'll see the sail, that is a white color cloth that keeps fluttering up and down. Doors bang, rain patters, brakes screech, nuts crack. So I want you all to by heart all this. This is very important. When I send it, you can by heart it, children. So we'll go to the next topic now. We finished with verbs. We finished with verbs. Then we'll go next to the, tell me.
7:55 already.
Yeah, 8:30, no? Who is
Yes, sir,
Sana?
you told-
No, ma'am.
Ma'am,
No. You said it is doubt session.
Yes, ma'am.
Children, it's still 8:30, children. 2 hours class. Okay, I'll leave you all early. Don't worry. I'll leave you a little early if you're tired
Not
of
like
sitting.
that, ma'am. Not like that, ma'am. You said you will give. You will ask doubts, no, ma'am.
Okay.
We have any
Wait.
We have doubts.
I'll just finish one more small this thing. I'll just finish one small one. Then we'll go to the doubts session. Okay. We'll do off vocabulary. We'll do. That's a very small one. We'll finish it off. Then we'll go to the doubts session. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Vocabulary also I've done for you children. I've finished vocabulary also. Is basically a set of words with a language that a person knows. Vocabulary generally develops with age and serves as a useful and important tool for communication. Now what they're trying to do is, usually when you're a small baby, let's say you were in nursery, you didn't know much words. When you came to second standard, you learned a few words. Now you're in fifth, sixth standard, you know much better words than what you knew in nursery, right? So these are the things. 1 second, children. They're calling from the center. Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Good evening, sir. Tell me. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅದೇ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ I just talk to you 2 minutes. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Okay, sorry. So vocabulary means when you're a small baby, you don't know much words. But as you grow, you pick up new words and add it up in your communication. That is how you improve your communication. Now, vocabulary is a study of meaning of words. Just using the word itself is not enough. You should know what it means. That's very, very important. Many words have several meanings. Each study the meanings of the words and parts of speech. Homonyms are words that are both spelled and pronounced the same. That is, when you say something, the moment you tell a word like eight, ATE8, and it is EGIHT. When you pronounce it, it sounds the same, but then it has totally a different spelling and a different meaning. Like bank, river bank. Bank is a place to deposit money also. And bat, the things we play, and bat is an animal too. That is the example they've given. Homographs or homophones you sell, they're spelled with different meaning. Spelled the same way, but with a different meaning. Bear to support or carry. When you want to carry something, a heavy load, you call bear. The other bear is an animal. Sow, S-O-W, sow is to plant a seed. Sow is also a name. A female pig is called as sow. So homophones pronounce the same but differ in meaning, like rose, R-O-S-E, flower, R-O-S-E, past tense of rice, T-O-2, T-W-O-2, and T-O-O-2. So this again, I'll be sending you all this. You can go through it once again, and when it comes as notes to you. Then how are these words used? Study the words in the context. Apply what you learn by writing the sentence with your words. Root words, prefix, and you all know what is prefix and suffix. Studying these will help you to improve your vocabulary. A prefix is an affix which is placed before the root word. Happy, unhappy. Un is the prefix of happy. So happy means something you're cheerful. When you add up un, it becomes unhappy where you're sad. A suffix to an affix, that is, which is placed after the root word happy. So for happy, we add up INESS. So happy, of course, is cheerful. Happiness is cheerfulness. That is the difference. I don't think you'll have analogs. Analogs you don't have, I think. Anyway, this is comparing two pairs of words, choosing the pair together. For example, kitchens, cooking. If it is kitchen, it is cooking. If it is bedroom, it is sleeping. Again, kitchen is used to cook. Bedroom is used to sleep. So there are two words will be given, kitchen, cooking, or it will be given kitchen. You have to fill the next word. It will give bedroom. You have to fill the next word. I don't think you'll have this, so don't worry about that. Types of vocabulary. A literate person is person's reading vocabulary is all the words he or she can recognize while reading. This is generally the largest type of vocabulary, simply because a reader tends to be exposed to more words by reading. So what they're saying is, when you read, children, the more and more you read books, the more and more new words you learn, and it will be helpful for you to use when you talk. That is one way of reading, is one way of improving your vocabulary. Listening to good speeches, good orators, that also helps you to get new words and improve your vocabulary. Speaking, when you learn all these new words, you have to use it in your sentence. You have to use it in your communication. That is speaking vocabulary. Writing, when you write a passage, instead of simply writing, I get up in the morning, I have my bath, I brush my teeth, I do this, I do that. Instead of using 5 sentences to show what you're doing in the morning, one word of yours, you can say, I get up at 6 and refresh myself. You just use the word refresh, REFRESH. So instead of saying I brush my teeth, I have my bath, I do this, I do that, one word says that everything what you have to say. So writing vocabulary also helps you to express yourself much better in a shorter way. The importance of vocabulary. A good stock of vocabulary helps in expression and communication. Vocabulary size has directly linked to reading comprehension. Now here again, you read comprehension or you read books, essays, whatever, it will definitely help you to increase your vocabulary. And here we complete, children, 1 second. Here we complete the revision part of few texts. I mean, few topics what I had taken. I'll be sending you all these topics. Tomorrow again, we'll take up some other topics. Okay. Hope you understood. If you have not understand, I'll give you some time now. You can ask me, and all have to raise their hand. I'm not going to talk to anyone who talks to me directly. Understood? Yes. Yes, Pratiksha, what is the doubt?
Excuse me, ma'am. Where will textbooks given, ma'am?
Huh?
Ma'am, in this English, ma'am, we have a textbooks, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I didn't get, ma'am.
I didn't give any textbook to anybody, no. When did I give?
The book in the institute.
Okay, children, listen. If you want any...
She's talking about the sending.
Okay, children, Ratiksha, 1 second, listen. If you want any book, you call up the coordinators, they'll give you. But whatever I taught to you, Pratiksha, now, you remember I taught so many topics. I'll be sending you the notes, you can refer to it. Okay? And any doubt, you make a note and you get back to me. Yes, Charan?
Ma'am, I can't download the files, ma'am.
Which file you want to download?
This full of vocabulary, ma'am.
I'm sending you the notes I told Numa. You don't understand. What is sending? What do you mean by sending? I'm giving it to you. Yes, Nishant.
What is the meaning of complex, ma'am? That we didn't know. Complex sentences.
Complex sentences. Yeah, simple means no conjunction. Compound, there are few
Yes, ma'am.
conjunctions. In complex, there will be conjunctions plus the dependent subclauses, clauses, and everything. It will be a very big sentence. Complex sentences are very big with the and, with the conjunction, all these things. That's why it's called as complex sentence. But we don't have it. I just taught you. That's all.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, corrective means it will be like bunch, so ma'am. Example, a bunch of keys like that, no, ma'am.
No, anything of the same kind. A bunch of things of the same kind and properties. Same kind and properties. That is
Like three
collective.
cars.
Like, no, forget 3 cars. Cars only. CARS, cars. So it refers
Of course.
to.
What is the meaning of imperative, ma'am? Imperative sentences.
No, Nishant, understand. Instead of you seeing there were many cars down in the basement, you can say there was a fleet, FLEET. There were a fleet of cars. There was a fleet of cars in the basement. That's what. That means
Yes, ma'am.
all cars only. Yes, my next imperative.
Ma'am, imperative means what, ma'am?
Imperative means there are 3 types, kinds of sentences. There are 3 types. One is command, shut up, get out, do this, do that. Second one is, please give me a pen, please can I borrow some money, those things. And the third one is also called as optative, which means cursing, God bless you and all that. And if you get angry, you can say, let God curse you and all. Curse and bless both in optative, imperative, optative.
Yes, ma'am. Afterwards, modal verbs. I don't got meaning, ma'am. That's all. Examples I got.
See, modal verbs are usually verbs that you use should, could, would.
Ma'am.
All
Like that.
these words are called modals. And it's never
One word-
plural, it's always single. Yeah.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, one word substitution, the last one.
Which one?
One word substitution.
Yeah,
You
tell
talked
me,
about.
yeah.
What is meaning of that, ma'am?
One word substitution means, now how I said, like you want to say something very big. Now, for example, I gave you this one, morning I get up, at 6 o'clock, I wake up, I do this, I do that. Instead of saying I brush my teeth, I do this, you can just use the word refresh. So that is one word substitution in the sentence. Instead of having so many sentences, one word will substitute.
Okay,
That
ma'am, all
is-
clear.
Okay. Yes, Bhumika? Yeah.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of law?
LAW. Law. Law means, like they say, when the vehicles are going on the road, don't cross the road. That is a law. Government has made a law. Rules, yeah.
Rules.
Rules are called as law. I mean, you're talking about mother-in-law. Are you talking about that?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, mother-in-law means now, usually a person before marriage, you call the person who gave birth to you as mother and father. But when you get married and go, according to law, the boy's mother is your mother-in-law. According to law, the boy's father is your father-in-law. That's why we say mother-in-law, father-in-law. By law, they are your mother, father. Yes, Chintana.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I not understand proper noun, ma'am.
Proper noun. So Chintana is what? Chintana is common noun or proper noun? Chintana is what? Common noun or proper noun? Chintana is what?
Common noun.
Name. Is it a name? Chintana is a name? Is Chintana
Yes,
a
ma'am.
name? So Chintana is a common noun. Proper noun, sorry. Chintana is a proper noun. Names of person, place, animal or thing. Like person, Chintana, place, Bangalore. Then this thing, animal, let us say chimpanzee. And place would be, let us say, which place starts from C? Chhattisgarh. Okay.
Ma'am, Chennai.
Chennai also. So name of person, place,
Canada.
animal or thing is called as proper noun. Only names. But if I say Chintana is a girl, Chintana will become proper noun, girl will become common noun. Understood?
Okay, ma'am. I understand, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, how to pronounce a P-E-R-S-U-A-D-E-D?
Persuaded.
Ma'am, means?
Persuaded means to force someone. Persuade means to force. F-O-R-C, force.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, Rishank.
Thank you.
Rishank.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Huh?
Ma'am, I have understand misconcept and concept.
Misconcept. I never taught misconcept. What is it?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, misconcept and concept.
Okay. Misconcept means wrong idea. Concept means the real idea. What was the thing? I forgot. What was the topic? I mean, this thing. Example.
I didn't note down it, but I note down the simply misconcept and concept.
Yeah, misconcept means wrong idea. Concept means right idea. Okay. Yes,
Okay,
sir. Yes, Rishank.
Ma'am,
Rishank
ma'am.
over. Kishan.
Ma'am,
Yes.
Kishan is here.
Yeah.
Kishan here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, in the chapter vocabulary, I have a chapter on general vocabulary.
Hmm.
There are words in Hindi and English, like word, father, meaning pita, like
Ah.
that. But you didn't teach us that, right, ma'am?
Why I should teach? You are a Hindi medium student. Are you Hindi medium?
I'm not Hindi, like word cow, everything is like that. Kishan.
Huh?
I'm an English student.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Then,
like abandon, then discard. We didn't learn what type of words, right, ma'am?
that way, Kishan, I'll have to bring the dictionary and it will take 1 whole year for me to teach you all the words. It is the student's duty. If you don't understand, open the dictionary and check for the words. It is the student's duty, not the teacher's duty. Teacher will just teach you what is there. It is you have to put the effort. That day also I said, children have to refer. Children have to put effort. If you get a doubt, immediately open the dictionary and search for the meaning. Okay, Kishan? We cannot teach word by word meaning in English. It's very difficult. Small things, if you ask now, Chintana asked me, what is persuaded? I told her. It is to force. Like that, if you have any words, you tell me, I'll tell you the meaning. But if you're telling me to teach all the words, it's not possible, ma. Definitely not possible. Yes, yes, Pruthvik.
Ma'am, yes.
Where you send the notes, ma'am?
I'll send it through the app. I'll send.
Okay, ma'am. What is the meaning of vocabulary, ma'am?
Vocabulary means good words. When you're talking English, you use very good words which are there in dictionary. Not, I told you, no, that day. I mean, any other example, because let me see, I'll find the example.
Mute yourself.
What is the best example for vocabulary is, you can say,
The meaning of something.
no, not a meaning of something. Vocabulary means using good words when you're writing, reading, speaking, talking. For example, children mute. So, see now, for example, let's say persuaded only. Now, Chintana use the word persuade. If I say, please don't persuade me to drink this juice. Instead of telling, don't force me to drink this juice, I use the word, don't persuade me to drink this juice. Now, for example, if I use persuade, it sounds much better and you feel, okay, you are using much better language. Force is a very ordinary language. Vocabulary is nothing but using better language, better words in your reading, writing, speaking. Understood? Yes, next, Pratiksha. Yes, Pratiksha.
Ma'am, what is the meaning of spectacles?
Spectacles means glasses. Kannadi hakkolodu. Whichever language you are. Which language you speak?
Kannada.
Kannadaka.
Okay.
Yes, Shambhavi.
Thank you.
Shambhavi.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, the meaning of vocabulary, can it be like artistic and stylish form of words?
Not stylish or not even artistic. There's nothing artistic. Using better words, ma. See, now,
we can even say.
one second. Who asked me that question? Can you tell your name?
Ma'am, I'm Danya, ma'am.
Dania, okay, Dania, listen. Now you go to you step out of your house. Let us say you step out of the house to go to a shop. You wear your ordinary night suit, you know, the pajamas and this thing and go. But the same, I mean, nobody will notice you. But the same thing, you wear neat dress, like a neat pant and shirt and go. People, every time you do that. So what they'll think, oh, this girl Danya is very particular about her dress. She doesn't step out in any of her pajamas. So vocabulary is something where you use good words and you get appreciation from people. They appreciate you for your usage of good words. That is what is vocabulary. You get your acknowledgement.
Okay, ma'am, like that. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I got it.
Yeah. Yes, Shambhavi, you ask, ma. You're waiting for a long time.
Ma'am, what I did not understand the meaning of optative sentence, ma'am. Can you please state?
Optative means it is one under the imperative sentence. Optative sentences means where you usually curse somebody, you get angry with somebody hits you on the road, like on the bike and goes off. What do you say? Oh my God, this man should fall down. I curse him. So that is an optative. When you curse somebody, that's optative word. Or somebody helps you out.
Ma'am, in Kannada.
Shapa hakadu. And in this thing, in case you bless somebody, you give 5 rupees to the beggar blesses you. Not only the beggar, anybody for that matter, even the priest in the temple. So that one, at that time, you say the person is blessing means it's an optative. Cursing and blessing is optative. And the imperative sentence optative.
Okay, ma'am, understand. Thank you.
I mean, birthday also they will.
Yeah, correct. That's also optative.
Excuse me, ma'am.
In Kannada, they tell no, ma'am, like Ashirvada kododu, like that. they tell no, ma'am.
Ashirvada and Shapa. Both. Shapa hakadu also. Somebody curses you also is an optative.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
What is the meaning
Ma'am,
of
What is the meaning of?
ma'am, it was Pratiksha, not me.
Yes, Pratiksha, what is it? Yes, Sohan,
English, ma'am?
Sohan, tell me what is it?
Ma'am, the meaning of vocabulary which Dania asked, no, ma'am, that will come in dance, ma'am. Dance, moves, steps, and all. Ma'am, we can even say vocabulary meaning the words, the body of words used in a particular language.
Body? How can you use the body of words? That's a wrong English. There is no body of words. The selection of words used while writing, reading, speaking English. There's no word called body and it doesn't come in dance. Dance has nothing to do with it. Dance is creative. This is something different. Yes.
Excuse me, I have a doubt.
1 minute. Amog, tell me.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Ma'am, here in the first learning objectives, examine various of types. Ma'am, here examine various types are like there are millions of types of vocabulary. Ma'am, they are saying like that.
I didn't get you, ma. Just repeat.
Ma'am, in the learning objectives here is there, ma'am. Ma'am, here the third line. Examine various types of vocabulary. Ma'am, here examine various types is like few types of vocabulary are there.
Few types means, that's what I'm saying. Types of vocabulary doesn't mean like adjective types, adverb types. It's not like that. It's not that type of vocabulary. It is vocabulary during happiness, during sadness, during different moods and all that. That is what it means.
Okay.
Yes, Kishan.
Ma'am,
Huh? Okay, Kishan, I can't hear. Yes,
Ma'am, I asked you my doubt.
I can't hear you. Tell me properly.
Ma'am, he's telling he has this
Ma'am is
doubt.
telling that he asked this doubt.
So he should put
Already.
he should put his hand down, right?
Forgot, ma'am. Yes,
that,
forgot.
that you tell.
Forgot.
That you tell.
I put it down.
Forgot means
Yes, Rishant. Yes, Rishant.
Yes, ma'am. I have doubt in interrogative sentence. Ma'am, in interrogative sentence, the question mark will come in only and or in other case also, ma'am.
No, only in it'll only come in the last end. Question mark will always be in the end, no? It cannot be in front. Yes, Pratham.
Okay.
Yes, Pratham.
Ma'am, in learning objects, I did not understand second point.
Where is learning objects here? It went off somewhere. I don't know where it went.
Ma'am, it is clearly, ma'am.
No, yeah, I can't see it. It went off.
Learning objectives, vocabulary learning
Yeah, tell me what is it?
Study the applicant of
point.
vocabulary, that line.
Read the
Second point, I did not understand.
read the line. Read the line.
Study the applicant of vocabulary.
That is, you have to study where to use the vocabulary. Just learning some words is not enough. You should also know where to use it. That is, study the applicant. Yes,
Okay, ma'am.
yes, Chintana. Enough, I think. I'm going to close down now. It's too late. Yes, Chintana.
Ma'am, can I tell examples of vocabulary, ma'am?
Like, tell me.
Ma'am, dominant, most important, powerful.
Okay. Very good.
Ma'am, spectator, a person who watches a game or show.
Yes. Correct.
Ma'am, in my textbook is given, ma'am, vocabulary.
Okay, learn all that then. That's very good. Learn it. Okay, children. Thanks for sitting. 2 hours you all sat patiently and quietly. I thank you for you people sitting quietly. Thanks a lot. Okay.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
he is a good boy. That is also a vocabulary, ma'am. He is a good boy.
Where? How it's a vocabulary? What do you mean? He is a good boy. It's a simple sentence. It's a simple sentence. He is a obedient boy, or he is one of the obedient child. That becomes a vocabulary.
Vocabulary.
Bye,
Okay,
ma'am.
important.
Yeah. Okay, children. Bye. 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 See you. Bye.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you.
All of you. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you, ma'am. Bye,
Bye.
ma'am.